And of course, one of Kennedy's passions was health care. Could his death, in fact, spur Congress to pass a health care reform bill? CBS News congressional correspondent Nancy Cortez has more from Washington. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning, Russ. Kennedy's death, in a way, gives new life to health care legislation, which has really taken a beating over the past few weeks at town halls across the country. Supporters of health care reform say they're going to fight even harder to achieve Kennedy's dying wish, universal health care, with Senator Robert Byrd of West Virginia even suggesting that the legislation be named after the late, great lawmaker.
We've got a real health crisis.
For 4 decades, Senator Ted Kennedy fought to provide what he saw as a right for all Americans, health care. In 1970, Kennedy introduced the first universal health care bill. And years later, he would refer to universal health care as, quote, the cause of my life.
We will break the old gridlock and guarantee that every American, north, south, east, west, young, old, will have decent, quality health care as a fundamental right and not a privilege.
Kennedy is credited with a long list of health care accomplishments, championing the Children's Health Insurance Program, drafting legislation creating HMOs, and helping to pass Medicaid and Medicare.
There is nobody in the United States Senate who has had a louder voice and a more effective voice on health care issues.
His crusade in many ways was personal. The father of 3 watched 2 of his children battle cancer. But the battle he fought against a malignant brain tumor that ultimately took his life kept him from personally spearheading the current health care reform effort.
I have little doubt that we'd be even farther along. There is something about Ted Kennedy's ability to bring sides together, to keep them at the table, to keep pushing and urging and cajoling and persuading and ultimately getting across the line.
Now that he's gone, Senator Kennedy's health reform allies say they plan to work even harder to get a bill passed.
I'm dedicated to it, and in his memory, I will do everything I can as long as I can stand in the United States Senate.
One problem, Democrats and Republicans are as divided as ever over health care reform, and the lawmaker with the greatest flair for finding compromise is no longer with us, Russ.
Nancy Cortez in Washington, thank you very much.